Gomez and company welcome former SU quarterback Eric Dungey thanks to Liverpool Pool and Spa on the flagship station of SU football, TK99 and TK105.
Live from Oregon, Eric, good morning. How are you today?
Good. How you guys doing?
Good. Monday, after a super busy weekend, we were getting caught up a little bit offline there, but on QSportsTalk.com, before we talk basketball, football, and NFL and all the things happening, we were just kind of breaking down the Friday night, and I've been using, air quotes all morning long, fight. That you didn't watch the undercard stuff, but you were interested, like a lot of people were, to see the actual Mike Tyson, Jake Paul portion of the evening, which was like... you looked around like, this is what people were waiting for.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I feel like they owe some refunds for everybody for the main card. But you got, as you were saying, I mean, the undercards, I saw some highlights. Those were actually some great fights, but a little disappointing for all the hype, everything around it. But you know what? Nowadays, it's just about marketing, it felt like. And they did a great job to market that fight. And oh boy, was that a letdown. So
I really thought, when Mike Tyson first came out into that first round, he approached Jake Paul like he used to. You really felt like you saw a glimmer of what Mike used to be. And then I think it was pretty evident that knee, and he's just doesn't have the reach as Jake Paul, but I really don't think they ever meant to really punch each other. Not fight. No. I don't think they ever
definitely. They both went home very happy. Let's just say that a lot.
Yeah.
The 16 minutes for a lot of money there, and it was cool to see Mike Tyson out there. But like you said, that was just. That was tough to watch there.
Nothing to see here. All in the rearview mirror now. As we head into football, obviously a great win on the road. Any win on the road, especially in conference and college football, is a good win. And Eric, the way they came out this time compared to some of the most recent games, that was impressive. 3 straight touchdowns and a great way to start the game.
Oh, definitely. They came out, and you know what? They established the run game. They got LaQuint Allen going. And what Syracuse has done in these losses is they bounce back in a huge way. They face adversity and they bounce back, and great teams are able to do that. LaQuint going for over 100 yards. Kyle having a very, very consistent day. Arande had a big day. So all the big time playmakers are making plays. Cal made a little push there at the end, but Syracuse was able to fend them off. And you know what? Winners get washed, and Coach Brown was very pumped about that. It's good to see. Anytime you're able to go across the country, and Cal again, they're 5-5 now. They were 5-4 going into the game. I was saying they're one of the better and one of the best 5-4 teams that is probably in the country right now. They had a lot of close losses. They also were able to come back in a lot of their games as well. So you got to tip your cap to Syracuse. They knew what they were getting into, and they were able to hold them off there at the end. And luckily that onside kick didn't go their way. Kind of how Syracuse was on the opposite side of that last week. But, Syracuse is having a tremendous season so far for Coach Brown, first year, 7-3 going into a home game here against UConn. And, you got to expect them to get another win here and, potential 10-win season on the line. Obviously going to end with a very, very tough game against Miami, but they're a beatable team, and, crazier things have happened with teams that get momentum.
That's true, and we were talking with Don McPherson about a half an hour or so ago, and that now that Miami game is looming as potentially a pretty important game, depending on what happens with the SMU and the rest of the schedule between now and that game on the 30th.
Yeah, definitely. And for Syracuse, their hopes for a bowl game is obviously still, or a great bowl game is still in the mix here. It just depends on which one they're going to go to. And like I said, every bowl game is fun. It's a great experience, but you obviously want to go to one of the higher tier bowl games. And the later you play in December or January, obviously the better you've done. So for Syracuse, there's a lot at stake here. But again, I am just so ecstatic about the hire for Coach Brown. I think he was a phenomenal hire. He's already changed the culture in such a short amount of time. And Kyle's just been super consistent. Granted, besides that Pitt game, he's been super consistent all year. And, they're doing things that, 1 week they don't look great. The run game's not established. And then they come out against Cal, and that's what they're really ironing out. And, they opened up with 2 rushing touchdowns to start it off. It's been great just to see them bounce back and handle these things.
Enjoy your shower, all right, baby?
Yeah, I'm about to get washed.
I know that's...
Winners get washed.
Yeah.
Winners get washed, and that's true. Mm-hmm. And we were joking about that last hour again, and like Donnie was saying, 5.5 hour plane ride sitting next to a guy who doesn't shower that's a bad punishment for anybody.
Who's sad and not mad and sad and disappointed and not showered. Ooh.
Yeah, exactly. I would hope the linemen are the one that are getting washed regardless, win or lose. Coach Brown not so much, but the linemen who are in the trenches all day. Those are the big ones, especially on, like you said, a 5.5 hour plane ride. I don't think that air has enough filtration on there. So,
and I'm sure you watched some NFL yesterday, including the exciting Buffalo Bills Kansas City Chiefs game at Highmark Stadium.
Oh, definitely. I thought that was, very Josh Allen-esque. What a clutch guy he is, and just really take the game into his own hands. And you just see the threat of a mobile quarterback, and also against, the Chargers and the Bengals with Justin Herbert and his ankle getting healthy, and what he was able to do in that first half. When you have a big mobile quarterback who not only can throw, but who can extend the plays when teams drop into coverage and they lose an extra guy. And, it really shows the value that brings, as long as you're smart for it. And, Josh obviously is a smart runner, but at 250, whatever pounds he is, regardless of the hits he takes, he's pretty durable. So really cool to see Buffalo get that win. Obviously upstate, big fan for them. And, it's always good to see Kansas City take an L.
Yeah, it is. Anyway, Eric, thanks. We will chat again on Friday and talk more about the Connecticut game coming up on Saturday at noon. But as always, good stuff. Thanks for the chat, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.